Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to do a comparison of the Laphroaig 21-year-old special release versus Laphroaig 25-year-old. Dustin, we're a big fan of both of these whiskeys.
Huge.
A lot of you guys are too. We had asked the question when we posted the review of the 2018 Laphroaig 25, how it compared to the 21. A few people asked us that question, so we actually had played around with that idea, and we figured might as well bring it to you. We're kind of getting the end of both of these bottles, so we figured it'd be a nice even comparison. So what we have here, as far as a tail of the tape, is the Laphroaig 21 special release for 21 years of Friends of Laphroaig. Comes in at 48.4% ABV. We have an individual review on that. Check it out if you guys would like. And then the 2018 version of Laphroaig 25 comes in at 52% ABV cask strength. Dustin, the reason, obviously, we picked the 25 from 2018 is the cask maturation. We want to do bourbon cask to bourbon cask, so we didn't pick up any sherry notes that may have influenced our decision over which one is a better whiskey. And this is an interesting comparison because even though this is half the size, this is about half the price. So they're a similar cost. So what really is better bang for your buck if you want a bourbon cask matured Laphroaig that is a good high ABV and well aged.
And we haven't gotten the new 2021s yet, which are bourbon cask again.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at that. But we know this 2018 is a really good example of not only the 25, but a bourbon cask, only 25. So folks, for you watching at home, obviously we have, as far as the two glasses here, they're represented the same way. They're represented here. The 25 will be on your right-hand side on me, being that I'm taller, and then the shorter bottle represented by Dustin, or the left-hand side of the glasses and the bottle.
Younger, older.
Sure, whatever. All right, let's get into it. Let's try the 21 first, Dustin, just because you already grabbed that glass. But we'll also say it because it's a lower ABV.
Left to right, come on.
Yeah, sure. Beautiful whiskey. Tropical.
That is tropical as hell, man.
Man.
I've forgotten how tropical this is. I'm getting a hint of medicinal now, but man, it's just tropical.
You know, sometime we got to, just for the tropical note, compare this to the Laphroaig 28 to see it has more like fruits on it. Because this one is fruity.
Yeah, there's some smoked. Oh, there's coming the mint. Man.
Good, solid oak note on this too.
Oh man, this smells incredible, Mike. Oh, I mean that is genuinely just incredible. I mean, I want to give more notes here, but I mean, sometimes the level of wow is really what you want to talk about, and this is a high level of wow. Yeah,
let me try to define that a little bit more for you guys. You know, when Dustin and I get together for reviews, we'll have, like one whiskey that we're about to review and kind of talk about what we're going for. So we're ready for what we're about to experience, or as best as we can be.
Yeah.
And, we've had the whiskey before, we've had our thoughts and our notes written down. Even so, this impresses instantly as soon as you smell it on the nose.
Yeah, I mean, we've had this 10 times.
Every time, like, whew, man, this is a great nosing whiskey.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the 25, Dustin. A little bit higher ABV, 52%, again, all bourbon. Not all first fill, the way this 21 year is, but all bourbon nonetheless.
Did you forget to put whiskey in here, Mike? I can't smell it.
What I do smell is almost lightly perfumed compared to this 21.
It's, there's actually a little bit more oak in here.
More oak, less fruits.
Yeah, I mean, it's more, there's more smoke, a little more barbecue, but it's not the level of intensity on the 21 is super high. Now, mind you, again, sometimes that last couple pours in a glass, sometimes the intensity really comes up, but this is pretty low. So
they're both low.
I don't think that's what's driving this. It's just,
if you're mainly just drink the traditional core range of Laphroaigs, the 10, the 18 when it was out, you'll recognize that more in the 25. You'll recognize that as more of a Laphroaig than say this 21.
It's earthy. There's vegetal notes.
You get a little bit of that hospital, not a lot. The notes that you normally talk about with the 10, they're all there. They're just turned way back.
Yeah, there's a little bit of waxiness here.
Yeah, but the oak note kind of dominates.
Now, mind you, I've never had this whiskey and thought it wasn't a very aromatic, bold whiskey, which just tells you how strong the nose on the 21 is. Not that this is actually coming off light, it's just comparatively wow.
Yeah, even though this was higher ABV, we may have been better served to start nosing this before.
Yeah, I did not expect it to be that different on the nose. I knew this one was going to be fruitier and sweeter, but I didn't realize it'd be that much more.
And just like a line when you're a kid, the short guy goes first.
I don't even know what to say to this guy.
All right, let's go back. Give the 21 one more smell, and then let's get into the palate.
A little bit of powdered sugar, like chalky powdered sugar notes.
Yeah, I mean, we've often said the Lafroaig 25 is good anytime, cold, hot,
Yeah.
At night, at a football game,
Yeah.
at work, if
Yeah.
your work day was about to end.
Hey man, if
Good anytime.
if they let you bring a bottle into work and you only got to choose one, that'd be the one.
Yeah, see, that isn't America we live in anymore, but
Yeah. Mad Men days, man.
yeah, they could not have had productive afternoons.
And these would have been $1.50.
All right, Justin, let's go. I'm going to go in for the Palate.
Yeah, go in there.
It's
Go in there for it. I'm telling you, just incredible amount of smoked fruits on here. Really, that to me is the showcase. Tropical smoked fruit. There's a ton more here, but that is really the impressive part. Give Mike here just a second to kind of get through that and figure out what he's going to say.
I mean, it's much more recognizable as Laphroaig on the palate, but it's all coated and rounded by that just really thick oak note. It's spicy, as opposed to your normal Laphroaig notes. That oak note makes it spicy. The tropical fruit note kind of tingles with maybe just a light milk chocolate on the side of the tongue after a few seconds. Man, what a good whiskey.
Yeah. Up front, all fruit.
Yeah, it's there. It was being more middle and back, but
Tropical and, well, I'm just saying like up front, it is all tropical fruits and incredible. Waxy, oily, tropical fruits. Then transition kicks in, oak comes raring in, and you get this really nice, big, bold oak, but it's sweet. You can definitely pick up that it's first fill bourbon casks, or whether it's all or some. This one is all, but you can tell there's that first fill bourbon. Probably some really sweet ones. I don't know what they used, but really heavy vanilla comes in.
very, yep.
And then on the finish, that fruit comes right back, raring to go. And then there's smoke, there's ash, there's kind of this like smoked fruit thing going on, and it kind of transitions again to that milk chocolate you were talking about. In fact, as soon as you said that, I was like,
A little bit of it.
as soon as you said that, I started picking up on like the mid back of my tongue. I'm like, that's not even where I usually get milk chocolate notes. It was
tingly
interesting.
almost.
Yeah.
It was almost like tingling chocolate.
Well, and I mean, I was even almost getting like some mint chocolate going on there, like
Yeah,
some
yeah,
menthols
yeah,
coming in
I
at
can
the
see
same
that.
time.
Yeah, leafy tobacco chocolate, right?
Yeah, it was almost like there was tobacco and chocolate on the palate in different places at the same time, and it was just really interesting.
It wasn't ashy, it was more tobacco-y.
Yeah, and you can definitely notice that this one had clear, distinct transitions from up front when it first hits the tongue. Then when you swallow, you pick up the oak, and then as it's kind of leaving your mouth, then you start getting all those fruits coming back again. Really
Yeah.
breathtakingly good. I
All
don't
encompassing.
remember what we scored these, but if we didn't score 91 plus, we did it injustice.
I'm pretty sure it was something like that. When you said earlier, something I wanted to touch on was waxy. That's the second time you said waxy. When I was originally talking about the palate, I just like a dense oak woody note. You're right. It's more like a waxy note with the wood element to it with the spice.
The wood is there for sure.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say was like dense wood, but yeah, you're right. That's probably a better way to say it is waxy. But yeah, very thick, viscous, especially for 48.4% ABV.
Yeah.
Or non-cast strength, or what I would assume would be non-cast.
Yeah, and I'm still getting a really nice, clean smoke now on the tongue. Just beautiful. I think it's wood smoke right now. It's just beautiful.
You've seen that I haven't jumped right in this 25, even with the smell. I went back to that 21. I mean, this is a beautiful linger on this whiskey.
Yeah, I keep wanting to go pour this and I go taste it, and I'm like,
give it a minute.
just a second here, guys. Mike may have to do a little editing here to remove some of this, but man,
I mean, it's a whiskey you want to keep enjoying. You don't want to really go on to the next thing.
yeah, that is just.
And that next thing is Laphroaig 25? That's a strong initial pour.
Yeah.
All right, so this 25. Let's kind of get into this.
Yeah, go give it a taste, but I'll just kind of mention to the people here. I remember the first time we had this, Mike. You opened it up. I was over here, and you're like, let's get into it. And I remember the two of us, we nosed it, and we both were looking at each other like, dude, this is special. And I think we waited to really talk about it. Probably nosed it for about 20 minutes. We had a little taste of it, and we both looked at each other, and you said first, this might be better than Laphroaig 25, which is really the genesis of this review now. That was a year or so ago almost now.
And now we've had him enough times to drink multiple bottles down to where is that the case? I will tell you this. On the palate for the 25, it's more stinging. It's more citrus. It's more medicinal. The smoke notes are more ashy compared to tobacco. There isn't the fruit. It's a little more basic. And I would say the oak note is definitely thinner, or you could say the waxy note isn't there and the oak note is still there. However you want to verbalize that. And that's essentially where we're at. I would say on the palate is definitely a lesser whiskey, where it was just interesting in a different way on the nose. nor does it have the finish that is, with the transition, is not nearly as enjoyable. And wow, I hate saying that. Just the words coming out of my mouth doesn't feel right. Because again, I love the 25. This is just simply comparing it between the two.
Well, and what I think I'm coming back to here is, I've often said this, verses are fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot of fun.
You learn a lot.
And you learn a lot, but what you also have to remember is that you're not doing either whiskey justice.
Well,
it's not a fair comparison because at the end of the day, you are noticing what's different about the whiskeys, and sometimes one whiskey will overpower another whiskey, and that doesn't mean it's better. And what I want to get to is on my notes here, Mike, I do get fruitiness on the finish, especially.
Really? Comparatively? I do not get any fruitiness on this. So it's citrus. Well, citrus is a fruit. Yeah. I said citrus. Where I was getting tropical fruits.
So it's not tropical right now, but what I am getting is on the finish, I'm getting where that like tobacco leaf and mint and like, smoked tropical fruit was on this one. Here I'm getting more like a lemon lime type of thing that's mixed in with like tobacco and oak spice. And I'm getting that on the finish. In fact, that's the fruitiest part of this. So while this one, it started off super fruity, went to very super sweet, not as fruity, and then the fruit came back. This one, the fruit crescendos, but my memory of this whiskey is very much that it does have a fairly nice fruitiness up front. It's not anywhere in the ballpark of this one, but we've lost it because of just how intense this whiskey is.
Well, the 21 offers true fruit, where the 25 is sharp citrus, I would say. Would be my way of describing it.
It's more citrus, it's more lemon lime.
Yeah, lemon lime, I think, is a very good way to describe it. I agree with most of those tasting notes that you gave as far as like the lemon lime and everything, and with the spice. I mean, I do agree with that. It's just more subtle comparatively, less rich.
I think the finish is stronger on this one. The front and mid palate are much weaker.
Okay, so the only thing I would disagree about the 25 was just you said it was tobacco, where I think it's ashy.
It's both.
I don't get tobacco on the 25, where I absolutely get it on the 21.
It's smoked. It's cigarette smoked tobacco. Like it's after the cigarette's been smoked. It's
You're
not
right.
like fresh cut tobacco.
No, it's after it's been smoked the next day.
Yeah,
and cooled.
We get some water in this one, Mike.
Yeah.
And just for this one, let's go back.
Sure.
And let's start with the 25 now with water, and then go to the 21.
Okay. Final thoughts?
Just before we go in there, I just want to see if we're going to notice going 25 first, then back into 21 will give us a little bit more nuance on the upfront palate.
You're driving the car, man. It's your show.
Okay, honestly, the nose is now bolder to me.
Okay, it's sharper. I don't necessarily equate that to bold. So the reason why the 25 is sharper on the nose is the very sharp citrus fruits on it, to me. And
the oak, man. The oak's big on here. That's the big part.
And the ash is a more medicinal ash, which stands out.
There's a lot of medicinal, but there's also, don't go back and forth. Just nose the 25 again. So you're not getting because what happens is the 21 overpowers it, and that's where you get the issue.
Well, no, now with water, the 21's more subtle. It's just a fruit bomb.
Yeah, so I want to just focus on the 25 for a second before I...
Okay, fine. I'll do what you ask. Yeah, the 25 to me feels...
Because I'm getting a lot more now. Initially, it took me a while to get into the 21 and uncoil it. The 25. Now the 25 is much easier. Oh, it's just beautiful.
Hey, look, we've reviewed two of these whiskeys. We know what it is.
Yeah.
I just think comparatively, the notes aren't as refined, especially the fruit notes.
Yeah, so yeah. Now we go back, I'll go back to the 21 here for nosing. And okay, now it's just turned into incredibly I was going to say crystallized sugar.
Yeah, fruit stew, fruit pie.
Yeah, but the tropical note's gone down, and it's more like a marmalade or a jam or a
it kind of fell,
pie crust.
Kind of fell
not
down.
Pie crust, the pie filling, sorry.
Yeah, kind of fell to the ground, spread out.
Much more vanilla, much more first fill bourbon. I'm actually getting a lot less complexity now. In fact, now the 25 to me's got the more complex nose.
The vanilla and oak notes, along with the fruit, is all this whiskey is at this point on the nose.
All right, when I really dig in, I do get some of that smoked tropical fruit still.
So soft.
The oak is very soft here. It's a clean, sweet oak, whereas this one's much more ashy, dirty, which makes sense because this is going to be your traditional cask, so the refill, whereas this is first fill, so you get more of that vanilla coming off. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go into the 25 taste.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Even when I go back to the 25, it's just, again, it's sharp young fruit, even though it's older whiskey. That tells you how much cask maturation makes a difference. But, this is what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be, a traditional profile Laphroaig. The 21 is slightly off profile from your traditional standard bottling Laphroaigs. This is just traditional Laphroaig, just taken up about as far as it can go. You pick it up on the palate.
Yeah, beautiful up front. It's definitely gotten more intense. The finish is spicier. I think some of that just, again, not going from 21 to 25, but doing 25 back to back. But yeah, I'm getting just a really nice, classic Laphroaig 25.
Yeah.
Has lots of classic Laphroaig notes. Mm-hmm. I definitely think this one's peatier.
Maybe.
More medicinal, more earthy.
Definitely earthier.
Definitely getting more classic peated Laphroaig.
Absolutely, yeah.
This one actually, I don't know if I get much. I don't think I was getting much earlier. And now the finish on this one now is really lasting.
Yeah, but again, it's ash.
Mm-hmm. Ash and oak.
Yep, ash and oak, scorched earth.
Yeah, and it's definitely that refilled oak barrel where this one, is a little more clean oak. This one's more just
hey, look, man,
reused.
Whenever we do these comparisons, I always try to tell myself at some point this. It's like when we say who's a better basketball player, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. We're like, we know they're really great, but you have to point out the only small negatives. And they're small negatives. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like you're picking on the whiskey.
Yeah.
I feel that way sometimes. And I feel that way when I say about this Laphroaig 25 because it's an excellent whiskey. It's just not as well-rounded from the casks as this 21 is.
Let's go and finish this 21 and find out where it is now. I'm starting to get a little bit more sour oak and vegetal notes on the 21 now.
You say sour. As soon as you said that, I also was picking that up.
Yeah, I'm like, it's interesting. And it's almost more of that citrus and sour.
So it was like you're at fall at a carnival or something, or like a fair. Cool evening. Candy that smelled like confectionery candies in the air.
Yeah. So water has brought the sweetness down. It's brought the mouthfeel down. It's added more sour notes, which I'm actually kind of enjoying them. Actually, they're giving a little sour fruit, almost like a pineapple or a little bit like a pineapple or grapefruit kind of sourness sneaks in there a little bit.
Kind of acidic.
Yeah, a little acidic. It's not. It definitely was better without the water.
Agreed.
For sure. Whereas the 25. Either way, really.
I agree. I would prefer that without water. I mean, I wouldn't let that really change my opinion on the experience, but I think that's maybe a product of it's already 48.4. Mm-hmm. If we knock that down to 44, maybe it comes off a bit thin. Yeah. Taking out some of maybe the oak notes that we didn't want to see.
Yeah.
The sourness, especially for me, because I'm not as big on that as you were.
Sure. I mean, still very good. Still has all kinds of good stuff, but the transitions have kind of really gone away.
Yeah, flatten them out.
Whereas this one picked up a little bit more. So I guess what I'm getting at here is, depending on how you drink your whiskey, that may make a difference in how you would evaluate these two. Sure.
I mean, you always need to start out with where's your ABV initially come in. And 48 to 52 isn't a huge jump, but it's something.
It is, yeah. But this one, and I think initially, I do think this one has a little bit more heat and oomph to it. This one's a little more, this one comes off richer, though, in the mouth, initially.
I agree.
And then it thins out really fast with water, whereas this one really didn't seem that different.
I agree. All right, so Dustin, again, a whiskey that's relatively ounce for ounce a similar price if you can get your hands on them. Like always with the Versa series, if you're at a bar, someone else picking up the tab, regardless of cost, which one are you drinking, man?
I've got to take the 21 here. It's just so, it's so wow up front, and I really do enjoy sweeter whiskeys on the average. I want there to be some dirtiness, I want there to be some funk, but God, I love it when they come off super sweet up front.
I love any distillate that I already enjoy, which Laphroaig is. If they really take their time and do a really good job with cask maturation, and then give those casks time, 20 years, 21 years in this particular thing, man, that's almost always a good outcome. Yeah. Just get out of the way, let cask and let the distillate do what it should do.
How often do you see first fill bourbon in a 21-year-old whiskey?
Rarely. 21's an underappreciated or underutilized
type. In a 20-plus-year-old whiskey, period. I mean, it's just not that common. And then 48%, again, a nice quality
ABV.
Integrity ABV.
I agree. When something's 48%, I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Not that's okay. When I see 46, I think okay.
Yeah.
When I see 48, I'm like, good.
48's like, okay, you guys get it.
You get it.
Yeah, you understand. We want to play with our whiskey because we're paying premium dollars for these special bottles. We love whiskey and we want to be geeks with it and add water, take out water.
Hey, I'm glad whoever was arguing this in the boardroom was a whiskey lover.
Yeah.
That's what I know. I know when I see 48 and above, somebody who likes whiskey got their way.
Exactly.
All right, yes, man. I'm the same place you are. 21 is absolutely one I take. Now, I will say I don't like adding water that much to the 21-year-old.
Yeah. So if you do add water to all your whiskeys, I'd probably take the 25.
Well, I'll say this: the 25 holds water better.
Much better. And again, I think it actually enhances it with a little bit of water.
21 is not enhanced.
No, 25 slight enhancement. Not meaningful. Wouldn't add water myself because it's just, why add water if it's not going to do much?
Agreed.
If it does a lot, then yes.
Yeah, why drink more to get to the exact same spot?
Yeah.
ABV-wise. I don't know.
Yeah.
You only do it for enjoyment, is my point.
Exactly.
All right, those are our thoughts on the whiskey. Again, something we've talked about many times. A few people mentioned it. What was really better? And as my hunch suggested,
Yeah.
21's the winner.
Just shockingly,
Yeah.
you see the ages, you're like, oh, it's going to be the 25. And this is my favorite 25, Mike's second favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good.
Yeah, this
it's
is
a
not
good
like
Laphroaig, the 20. It isn't like the 2016 where it's like, oh, it's a nice one. That's a nice attempt.
Yeah.
Or the 19 where it's like, okay.
Yeah, the
we'll
19,
try.
we're like, okay, well,
You put one out this year.
it's a 25-year-old.
It's like the Super Bowl. Every year it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So every year we're going to get a Laphroaig 25. 19 was 2019.
Yeah.
We'll bring it to you someday. The least of them. Anyway. Until next time. What do you wish, folks?
Happy drinking.
We'll see you then.